Hello, welcome again to another episode of Parenting with Tumi, continuing with spontaneous parenting nuggets. And today, I just want to talk about boundaries because boundaries is an aspect of parenting that quite a lot or every parent struggles with at a point in their parenting journey with their child or their children. And boundaries, as it's been said a few times, are very important. Every human being needs boundaries, not just children. Boundaries set a very clear, respectful, appropriate relationship, a straightforward relationship. And it starts right from when the child is young. It's not when they become teenagers or they're older, then you start putting boundaries into place. Boundaries can be formed in different ways in having a family golden rules, the way we talk to each other, the way we are mindful of each other, the way we wait and we listen to each other. I've said in the past that you can create a slogan sometimes and which you can change, because another thing is the boundaries you set, it has to do with a relationship or a behavior you want to see improve in the lives of either your children or as a family in a whole, or a particular child. So maybe a child is having you find out that there's some problem solving issues, generally in their lives, and they need a better understanding. So our slogan for the next month can be, we are problem solvers. So what you do is you help that child towards the process in your daily family activities, in how we can be problem solvers. So an issue happens, you don't sweep it under the carpet. You find ways and tools of helping and managing the situation so that your child learns from it. You know, and again, when you're setting boundaries, especially with younger children, you have to make sure that they're age appropriate boundaries and to your child's ability. And because a 2-year-old, you have 10 2-year-olds. Yes, they're all two, but they all have different abilities and understanding. They might have some things that is general for a 2-year-old, but everybody's ability and understanding is different. So when you're setting boundaries with your child or for your child to make a better behavior or for them to understand something, think about that child, think about the way they understand things, think about the way they process things, and let the boundary be simple, clear, and precise. And also, when you set those boundaries, make sure you follow through. Make sure you follow through. I'll repeat that, because most of the time we will say, oh, if you I give you till 5 p.m. I've been asking you maybe to wash the dishes, for instance, and I give it to 5 p.m., and if that doesn't happen, maybe you can't go shopping, or the child can have something they want, or I don't know, do something and the child probably does not do it by 5 p.m. or whatever time or day you've given. You need to follow through, and whatever you've said, do it. Yes, it's painful sometimes as a parent because you want everything to be happy and rosy. But as I say to parents, and I'm a parent as well, when I'm parenting, I'm not thinking about only the here and now. I'm thinking about the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years to come. And it's all these tools and support I'm giving my child, it's going to help them later in life, because you're giving them tools in how to become a grounded and human being. So when you make those rules, or you put the boundary in place, please make sure that you see it through, because that's the only way that your child would learn and your child would know when something is said, when rules are given, because remember that they're going to school, they're going to the outside world, the outside community, where there are rules, there are guidelines, and which we have to follow. And normally, every human being, one way or the other, would want to maybe not follow a rule for whatever reason. And we have to follow rules that they have to be followed. Guidelines are there because it's important for us to be guided in a certain way. And at home as well, that's where it starts. They say charity begins from the home. It starts from the home. When things are put in place, children understand that it's for a purpose. It's for a purpose for everyone, not just because mommy or daddy wants to make me sad. Nobody wants to make their child sad. Every parent wants to make their child happy, wants their child to be happy at all times. But as children are growing up, they would test the boundaries. It's just a normal thing. They would want to cross over and say, oh, let me see if I would get away with it. So whatever you put in place, please make sure you stick to it, because that's the only way your child can learn. And with all the children, as they're getting older, from age 9, 10 and older, if you see that you're struggling with some things, I remember those days I used to draw up a contract, because there's so much you can say, we're talking and going on and on, but you let them understand what a contract means. It's a binding document. It looks as if it's extreme, because that's why I said you have to look at every child. You understand? If you have a child that really things like that mean a lot, they say that, oh, you're taking this very seriously now. This is a binding document. It's written out, bullet points. This is what I require. This is how I require it. And if that XYZ doesn't happen, these are the things that will happen. We have a discussion, we talk about it, it's a negotiation. We're not negotiating in anything, this is, in this house, we want to keep our house tidy. We want to speak to ourselves, we want to respect ourselves. We want to be polite to each other, the language we use. You sign it, they sign it, you date it. If they're out of line, maybe you put how many warnings they will get, to check, because everybody needs to be reminded of something. And if it doesn't happen, they follow the consequence of those things. Consequences, you have to when any consequence you put down, it has to be followed. And that's the only way they do that. When something happens, there are consequences. So that's fair. That's another way for children that can read. You can put rules up. Simple rules, don't make it too dramatic. Don't make it too confusing. Simple house rules that children can follow. Simple house checks that children can follow to help them. It's sometimes when we make it too complicated, that's why it can't be done. It can't be followed. It can't be seen through. Then there would be issues. Just simple things. And as I said before, always recognize and let it be age appropriate and ability appropriate, because that's the only way as well that it can be done. Please, another thing is I would say is that do not label your child. When some people will say, oh, you're a good boy, or you got bad boy, or a naughty child, that just adds to the issue at hand. Still have those positive language, those positive words. Talk about, I've said it so many times, talk about the positive behavior you want to see. It's about the action, it's about the behavior, it's not about the child. Talk about that. That's what you want to correct. That's what you want to improve. That's what you want to help the child with. So that's another way of looking at it. So please don't get into the habit of labeling your child, or don't let people label your child. Every child has something positive, something good to give to this world. And I've said as well that it's the behavior. Focus on the behavior you want to see. Talk about it, give examples. In our home, in our family, we listen to each other. We use our listening ears. So children will know that we don't shout, we don't learn. We give everybody a chance to talk. We hear the person out. We don't criticize each other. We speak our minds, but we find a common ground. And it starts from the home. That is how children learn how to manage relationships, how to manage situations, and that's where you see the difference from a child that has been raised that way than a child that hasn't been given those tools to use. So it starts from the home. This should apply, and any rule you're setting in the home should apply to the adult as well, because it's all the same. So it's not one rule for the adults and one rule for the children. Everybody follows the rule. If we don't lie, we don't steal, we don't shout, we tidy up, we look after ourselves. All this comes from you, the adult, you, the parents, or the adults in that environment, because children just, they always mirror, as we know. They do more about what they see than what they hear. So that's where we have to be careful. So I hope this has helped. I'll continue to drop nuggets. I using this opportunity to wish everybody a good and happy Christmas. A lot has happened this year, but we're grateful that we are alive, we're well, and however you celebrate Christmas this year, just be thankful. Be thankful for life, thankful for being a parent, thankful for the journey you're on, and hopefully we'll all have a better and prosperous new year. Take care of yourselves. Remember to like, to comment, and share. Take care. Bye.